Oh, beautiful. It's on. That's gorgeous. Just sit right there so I can admire it. Hi, Kindred. How are you? And hello, family and friends. Guess what? I need to talk to y'all. I had put this video up and then I thought about it and took the video down. Because sometimes it kind of makes me think real hard sometimes when I get these emails and look at these different reviews and see these comments and stuff saying, "Oh, you know what? Spirit Tree is crazy and she needs to be admitted into a mental hospital." And that it forces my hand to have to speak on this because I hate to speak on it. I rarely like to address things like that. There are two pet peeves of mine: trying to explain to people who will never understand hoodoo magic, and trying to they want to understand it really bad, but they it ain't meant for them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't meant for them. And trying to explain to people concerning the black community thing, those are my two pet peeves, and I try my best not to address them. But not to address it is like saying that it's okay, what they're saying. Hoodoo magic is not for everybody. And the reason why I say that, if you come here and you see me when I'm under possession and you say she crazy or she's mentally ill, need to be in a hospital, a degenerate, ignorant, retarded, all of these different terms you're using, then you are not to come here to see this because you are not meant to understand, to perform hoodoo magic. I don't know what region you're in, but most people who understand hoodoo magic understand that most of us here in the black belt have southern draws. This is the way we talk. Okay? We can talk, like y'all talk if we want to. You know what I'm saying? Because you all feel like you all speak the proper English. But when you come down here, when you talk to grandma and granny and all of them down here, they don't talk the so-called proper English. This is the way they talk, okay? When you come down here and you say, "I'm going to see a hoodoo practitioner," expect for them to talk like this, okay? So now, if you can't handle this, a southern drawl, then you don't need to be looking up hoodoo magic. You don't even need to put your finger on it. You don't even need to be reading up on it because you're going to be surprised. If you want the real hoodoo magic, you want to come down here to the south, to the black belt, get more information. Some of you are writing books. Zora Neale Hurston, a lot of the people way back in time in the early 1900s, and well, Zora was actually from Florida. She got a lot of recognition for her book that she wrote on hoodoo magic and a little bit of voodoo magic, but she was already from Florida, but still, she went around the black belt and she incorporated all the information from the old folk back in the day who knew hoodoo magic. And she did an interview with them, got recipes and stuff. So, it's some great books out there by Zora if you just want to get a feel for how the old black belt was, the old South, and how they viewed hoodoo magic and voodoo magic because they incorporated both together. It's just a whole lot of stuff was going on then with those people. And check out our books, Zora Neale Hurston. One, Tell My Mew, that's one of her books, and oh gosh, there's so many of them that she's written. But what I'm trying to say is this: if a lot of authors are sitting down right now, I've talked to a couple of authors that say, "Mama, I look at your videos and stuff, and and I'm writing this book and everything, and you've helped me a lot, and you know, these people understand that they're dealing with a woman, a middle-aged woman in the black belt. I am genuine. I am real. I'm giving you an account of what my people have passed down to me, because my mother, my adopted mother practiced hoodoo magic. My birth mother, she lived in Boston, Massachusetts. She's still up there in Boston. But my adopted mother has passed, but that's what she used. She used hoodoo magic. And most of all of these old folks, when they get in the kitchen and get to talking, these old wives and stuff, you know, they're talking like this. Only it's more drastic. You know what I'm saying? And depending on what region it varies, it kind of changes. In Tennessee, Georgia, um, Florida's kind of different because there's a lot of immigrants in Florida. So you're not really even in Florida getting the real true black belt there, because it's just a lot going on there, a lot of cultures and stuff. But Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee and Mississippi and Louisiana, um, is it in Texas? It hasn't been touched. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't been touched. So a lot of people come here for whatever reasons, and I don't know what they're looking for. I always say I'm a hoodoo witch. You know what I'm saying? I incorporate the witchcraft with the hoodoo. There's a lot of them out there, incorporate the witchcraft with the hoodoo. And I can say, hey, look, I'm a conjurer. All of these different things. I mean, all these different definitions that come with spiritry. I can say that. But if you come here, this is what you get. You're not even gonna, when you're talking to a hoodoo practitioner in the black belt, okay? Because it was really hard for us, and still is. Ain't too much change. A lot of people, none of these people who are making these statements saying I'm retarded, let me see. I've read all the different reviews, honey. You'd be surprised where you'll find them. I'm retarded. I'm a degenerate. I'm ignorant. Um, just all kind of names. I can't use a proper English. I'm uneducated. And these people, why they are here, I don't know. Because most of the people that come here, that's in my family, realize that grandma had that draw. No, grandma didn't go to college. Grandma didn't do none of these things. She didn't read these books or whatever, which I am educated. I have a college degree. I have all of these things. You know what I'm saying? Grandma didn't have none of this stuff. She didn't have it. But if grandma told you something was going to happen, you better watch out. You better listen to her, because it's going to happen. If grandma told you to go in there and do this and do that, or gave you some of the recipe, or put her hands on you to heal you, or whatever she did, you best better believe grandma can get you well. And no, she didn't speak that proper English. No, she was not educated. And yes, she was here in the black belt. And I'm talking about hoodoo now. I'm not saying no other cultures can do it, because cultures heal all over the world. Everybody got their own tradition, but I'm just only talking about the hoodoo magic here in the South, okay? That way low South. And you knew this is the way they brought it to you. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by a man, okay? My adopted father, people say, well, he's like a stepdad, whatever. And he was born in 1931, 31, 32, something like that. His mom was born in the 1800s. So when you are hearing me, a lot of what I'm speaking when I talk sometimes is coming from the 1800s. You know what I'm saying? A man raised me that was talking like just real Southern. I mean, way back almost to the time of the emancipation, you know? I did a little song about Granny, and I talk about Granny all the time. His name was Granny. we call her Granny, but her real name was Lucille. But that was Granny. You know what I'm saying? But Granny was born in 1890. Okay. Then she gave birth to my father, who was born in 1931 or 32. So a lot of dialect that he used was very old Southern. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you go back to Granny's mom may have been affected by the emancipation and by the all of that was going on around that time when and she may not have been, because if Granny was born in the 90s, more than likely her mother was probably born in like the 70s. Now I'm not talking about the 1970s, y'all. I'm talking about the 1870s. I have to address that, because you always got people who come here to pick apart everything you say. And it's ridiculous, because what it does, those people right there are trying to halt the progress of the realness of what I'm trying to feed to my people. They need this information. And all of these people who feel this way about me, you should not be here, because in any way you're missing out, because this here is history. This is history, not trying to brag or whatever. But most people are here because they want the old South. And you getting it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a middle-aged woman raised by a man born in the early 1900s with a mother that was born in the 1800s. So this is history for people who really want to know what the old South was like. And that's why I have the channel, so I can bring it to you. You can come here. You can hear the way we talk. And my southern drawl and dialect is much older. Now I'm talking about like a lot of the times when I just let loose and I just go ahead and start talking like Granny. You know what I'm saying? It's much older than most my age. My dialect is much older than most my age, because these people were probably raised by a generation of mothers and fathers closer to their age. We're talking about, my dad was much older than me. When my dad adopted me, I think he was in his late 40s or something like that, and I was a small child. So I know all of the old terms. And then another good place where a lot of people want that old Southern feel is like Georgia. When you get into, you know, um, those islands in Georgia. Alabama got the islands. Um, Alabama got the islands, and Mississippi got the islands, and South Carolina, Gullah Islands. Those Macintosh people who do the shouts and stuff, they still hold a tradition. New Orleans, they hold on to traditions for dear life, and that's what you want. You want this old Southern, supernaturalism. That's what you want. That's what I'm here to bring. But family, I just had to talk about the situation, because all of these people who come in here and say this lady crazy. This is not for you, for the love of God. This is not for you. You should not be here, because you will never understand African American folklore and culture. I'm not here to talk all educated so that you can understand it. That's not my mission. My mission is to allow you all into my life so that you can see a hoodoo practitioner under possession, and offer some tools for you to work out situations, to work out problems using hoodoo magic, using witchcraft. That's what I'm here for. Okay? And like I tell y'all, I say I'm a witch first before the hoodoo, but I ain't no witch at all without the hoodoo. Because the hoodoo makes me me. Because that's what my ancestors had to hold on to. When they came from Africa, they held on to that. That was the hope. Can you all imagine? See, a lot of you all cannot imagine this. And for all of you all talking about the way I talk and stuff like that, and the way I express myself and all of that, you could not imagine half of what I've gone through down here in the South. And yes, life has been hell down south. And a lot of y'all around here ain't from down here. So y'all don't know what we went through. Okay? Okay, look up the civil rights movement. That affected a lot of us, and that stuff ingrained in our DNA. It's a lot of trauma. I'm sitting here, but I am my ancestors. Their blood coursed through my veins and sit in my bones and in my womb. So for people to sit down here and say, "Oh, the way she talk is this, and the way she talk is that, and oh, that, this, that, and the other, whatever," this is where I was raised. This is the way my people talk. This is the way we talk. Now, some not as drastic with the draw as me. Don't get me wrong, because folks will get offended. But the majority of us, what do you expect? I was raised in the South, okay? And so a lot of folks want to see the possession. When I go under serious possession sometimes, okay? And I'm allowing my private life here. And the people who call me these names not one time will show their face or do a video. They are not going to do it. Because they got flaws too. Flaws and all. They don't want nobody to see that. What you look like. See, they don't want you to see that either. Can you pull a crowd? Can you get a bunch of people to sit down and watch your videos for the people who talking? No, you can't. Then they make fun of you when you have little blunders and stuff like that. Everybody make mistakes. See, my kindreds and my family, they're not interested in the mistakes. They want the information. They want the food. But you got these little people who wish they could be me. That's basically what it boils down to. They wish they had what I got. And they sit down and all they can do is sit down and make fun of you and, mimic you and do all kind of little things. But they will not take their time out to upload a video. If you got a problem with me, upload a video and talk about it. Let us all come to your channel and see what you got to say about the way Spirit Tree talks or how Spirit Tree acts. Let me see it. I want to see this. Let's see if you can attract a crowd to your channel. See, and so that's why I want to do the video, because this is real. No one can deny me this. You got people that's trying to deny. Somebody said I was a fake. How can I be a fake? I am a fake. The last time I looked at myself, I am as black as all outdoors. Well, come on now. And the last time I checked, I lived in Alabama. So what else does it take for me to be real? I'm gonna tell you what they call me. They call me a hybrid being. What is a hybrid? Is that a way to deny me to be who I am? That's what I read. Spirit Tree is crazy and she's fake and she ain't real. She's a hybrid. I have never a hybrid. Hybrid mean that a hybrid or something like that. The last I checked, that you create hybrid species. They're made by man. You have to get in a lab to make a hybrid. I would go into details about it, but if I go into details, those same people will sit there and have to pick it apart and say, "Oh no, it's this, that, and the other." Well, make a video, and I tell you what, for all of those who disagree with my terms of what a hybrid is, why don't you make a video, okay, telling us what a hybrid is and explain to me how I can be one? Ridiculous. People try to deny you your heritage. There's no way I can be a fake. My mom used Hoodoo to get us well when we got sick. Most of us in the black belt in those days, we're talking about the 60s and beyond, even some of the 70s. Like my birth mother birthed me in a house. I was birthed in a one-room shack. No shits. I am not making this up. I hear people talking about, "Oh, she's retarded and she's fake and she's making up half of all of this stuff." No, man. Check out the rural South in Alabama in the 1960s. And they will show you these photos of people still living enslaved cabins and shanties and stuff. I was born in a 1 room shack with a tin roof. Okay. I was not born in a hospital. And I was born in Selma, Alabama. Okay. Here in Alabama, back in those days, if you did not have insurance, it was not even about insurance then. You didn't have money back in those days. You couldn't go to a hospital. Alabama was one of the worst when it came to the medical, even now. They said people in Alabama have some of the worst teeth because in Alabama, Alabama does not really believe in a lot of the poor people that can't afford insurance or pay for their dental. Then they have real bad teeth because Alabama does not care. So those poor people go without good dental care. So it was really bad in the 60s. A welfare check was like $5 or $10. My mom was trying to take care of me, my birth mom, on $5 or $10 a month. And she didn't have insurance. She was a young, poor mother. And she birthed me at home in her house. In her house, her mom had just passed away and left them a 1 room shack. And I was born in a 1 room shack with a pot belly stove. The wood, you could see straight through it outside and on the ground. You could actually see the ground because the wood separated about that much. So this is not lies I'm telling you. I grew up in the rural. I was born in the rural South, and when I was adopted to my adopted family, I grew up pretty middle class and had a better life, in a sense here in Birmingham, Alabama, because it was industrial up here. Industrial, we had the skyscrapers, the buildings. So I grew up as a city girl, but was born a poor baby, a poor child. So nothing I'm saying is all made up. So they had midwives. A midwife delivered me, and I still know her name. Her name is Mary Bell. She since then passed. I was able to find her, and she was the one who helped me to find my birth mother. I'm sorry. And so that's how I hooked up with my birth mother. She said, "Your mother is in Massachusetts." Because when I went to Montgomery Bureau of Statistics, they were like saying more than likely your birth mother is up north. But I just didn't know where until I found her. So nothing I say to you is made up, fabricated. None of it is a lie. When we got sick, when my birth mother had illness, had sickness or whatever, they used old home remedies. That's all they had. That was it. And those home remedies are still with me. Even my adopted mother used old home remedies. That was your hoodoo magic. They didn't mind getting up going to a two-headed doctor. And that's what I am. I'm a two-headed doctor and a conjurer. And why I gotta be crazy because I say that? It's like other people can say it, but if I say it, it's crazy. It's weird. It's funny. Why I cannot be who I am without people complaining about it and saying, "Oh, it's fake." It's nothing fake about me. I am real. I am 100% authentic. Okay, hoodoo, supernaturalism, whether you want to believe it or not. And I got a lot of folks out there can vouch for me, and they'll tell you, said, "Mama is one of the best out there in hoodoo magic." Okay, now I don't know about the other stuff. I don't get into too much of the other stuff. But I'm strictly hoodoo and witchcraft. That's what I am. But what's so beautiful about hoodoo? I can dip and dab in all of it. I can call on anybody. I can call on Satan if I need something really dreadful to happen, as well as I can call on Jesus Christ. Oh, I believe in all of them. I believe in Jesus, and I believe in Satan, and I believe in all of them powers, because all of them got power, whether you want to believe it or not. So many hate Satan, but Satan's powerful. As y'all blame all y'all problems on him. He gets more credit for all of the things that go on in our everyday life till it ain't even funny. So, and I just wanted to just say that because this situation has been heavy on my heart. Not, because like one of my last video, I just absolutely took the video off because, just out of frustration of the people who are ignorant to hoodoo supernaturalism. They're ignorant to it. So the next time you hear somebody walking around with a southern drawl, before you laugh, stop for a moment and realize this is just the way we were raised down here. And people can't help how they raised. And people can't help how they talk. This is the way, this is just the way it is. If you come down here, this is what you're gonna hear. You come down south, this is what you're gonna hear. I don't care what part of South you in. I don't care if you go into Georgia, because folks in Georgia talk just like us. Because we sister states. If you come to Tennessee, South Carolina, all of these different places, this is what you hear. So you got a lot of these northern cats and stuff, want to sit down and hate on the South, but the South is coming up because all y'all coming back down here. So it ain't that bad at all. You coming back. So a lot of them went up there and migrated up there, and now they on their way back. There's more New Yorkers around here than it is anything. I ain't got nothing against y'all New Yorkers and stuff, but every now and then y'all have to address that. It's a lot of folks from Detroit down here, but it's a thing between Birmingham and Detroit. I don't know what it is. Them like sister cities or something like that. Because man, folks will come down here from Detroit for about a week and then go back up there and stay up there for about 6 months, and then come back down here. People in Detroit are the people in Birmingham. I never will forget. I went in a bus station. I done said this before for the people. You got a lot of people who watch the video so much they be like, "She said that already." Well, if you watch me all day long, all the time, then you're gonna know the stories. You're gonna know them. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna know every story I tell, just about. But I was in a bus station, and oh man, it was a bus coming from Detroit in the bus station, and it was fully loaded. And it was a bus going to Detroit, and it was fully loaded. But all of the other buses, like the buses that were going to Cincinnati, Ohio, and different places like that, that's another thing. I forgot. I'm sorry. The people in Cincinnati, Ohio, they live here, and they live in Cincinnati too. But anyway, the bus was more full going to Detroit than it was any of the other buses going everywhere else. You see. So it's like that, man. Don't hate. You just cooperate and just get all of this you can, and just be it. It's a blessing because even like my aunt was born in the late 40s and stuff, and I'm blessed to have her in my life. She has been such a blessing because like my adopted mom, when she did the hoodoo magic and stuff, she never ever talked to us about it. You could just hear them in the background over the phone, and they would run you out, and they would say, "Hey, look, children are," and we couldn't say anything. Children are supposed to be seen and not heard. You're supposed to be seen and not heard. And even when you wanted to be in their presence to listen to what they had to say, they still didn't want you to be seen. They would like, "Get out of my hair." And I want to talk to y'all about different terms they use down here. The old wives and how they talked and everything, and just listening to them talk about different recipes and things they different terms they use, because like they didn't call cancer in those days. They called them veins. She got veins. They don't call it diabetes down here most of the time. Now, there's some people who, don't get me wrong, use some eloquent terms, medical terms, and say she's got diabetes or she's diabetic. But the old South used to say she got sugar. So they had all kind of different names. If I can come up with some more, I'm gonna write a list out of different terms that they use down south, so you all can get an idea of how those people talk to one another and how they related to each other and everything. And there's a lot I can't tell you how to conjure. I gave like a briefness on how to conjure back in 2011 before the cyclone came and stuff. And people like, oh, you got to be ridiculous to believe this stuff. I never will forget, y'all. It was in October. Matter of fact, that day was Halloween, and I went to this public library here in Birmingham, and there were a group of people who were not familiar with hoodoo magic. And this man, because see, they try to be tricky. They said that they were going to be talking about, because every Wednesday, the Birmingham Public Library will have storytelling. And so you come with your own food, bring your own bag. It's what they call a BOB. And you bring your bag lunch and you sit down and you eat or whatever, and you sit down and you watch the person. It's a different person each Wednesday talk about whatever they want to talk about. But this particular man said that he was going to come in and talk about cemeteries because it was Halloween. But instead, they were talking about something else. I came in there with my head all wrapped up because at the time I was a voodoo priestess that particular day. But I thought it was going to be about cemeteries. And of course, I was the only black woman in there. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. When hey, we're in the South now. We're in the South. Because so a lot of people are going to be like, what? Because you may not experience that anywhere else. But when I walked in, they were all looking at me like, what the heck is she doing in here? I go in there, instead of the guy talking about cemeteries, he was talking about hoodoo magic. African American folklore, hoodoo magic. And they were talking about the different recipes and spells and conjuring. And he had a wealth of information, this guy did. And I feel so bad because it was this thick. And that was a treasure. It was a blessing to have that paperwork. Until this day, I got it packed up somewhere and I cannot find it. But he had collected this information from his grandfather or something, where they had went around and talked to in the 40s to a lot of the old African American people, and they were giving him different recipes and stuff. And one, he was like, and then all of a sudden it became a comedy. Not amongst all of them, but I mean, he didn't understand what he had in his hand. This man had the archaic treasures in his hand and did not realize it. And for some reason, this guy thought this was a joke and thought it was funny. But the people in the audience didn't take it to be funny. They didn't see any comedy in it, but like they was talking about if your cow gets sick, then you go and I'm just making something up right now, y'all. You ring a bell over his head a couple of times and over her head. I'm sorry, cow is not a man or a male. I'm sorry. Ring a bell over her head, and then the next day you ring a bell under her belly or something like that, and the cow will get well. And he thought it was funny. So, people have these wonderful recipes and they think it's a joke. And they that day comes where they really need to go and practice one of those recipes, cook up something, and it don't work. And then they're like, see, it was just a joke. See, I knew it was no merit in this. This stuff is just baloney. Well, you got to believe in it, first of all, because if you think it's baloney, you think it's a joke, and you think it's, stupid, ridiculous, retarded, whatever kind of word you want to use that they label me, then it's not going to work for you. And it may be a situation where you can go to the doctor and they cannot find out what's wrong with you, and you really need some good old fashioned hoodoo magic worked on you, supernaturalism worked on you, and nothing happens. You can't get well. See, because the doctors cannot solve everything now. They cannot solve it. But anyway, what I wanted to say about this story, this guy thought this was fun. And it was disrespectful to myself because I am an African American. And half of that stuff he was talking about, those are my people. And he sat there and he just cackled about it. And it was just so funny. If your chicken gets sick, you do this, you do that. And, all of this stuff. He was just mocking it. But evidently, his grandfather must have really believed in it to take the time, the opportunity out to gather the information and put it all on paper so that we all can have it. I hope I can find it one day, y'all. It was about this thick so that I can kind of give some information off to you. But a lot of this cannot be told. It cannot be said over the internet. It can. And so it's plenty to be taught, but it can be done over the internet. You know what I'm saying? And like I told you, you can give away some recipes, and when you go to using them, they won't work for you. Like I told y'all about that man back there in that backyard back there, and he getting ready to everything he see me do, he gonna do it. Cause I've been out there in my yard already, y'all. I burn sulfur, y'all. I burn sulfur. That's another little trick I do. When I want to get something done, I'll dress up in a big old hat and look scary now. And, like when I did that last video, like these people tell me, some she crazy, she this, you on a conjuring channel. What do you expect? Get the hell off of my channel before you bring a curse to yourself. I'll paint my face up black and look frightening when I really want to get work done. I mean, even the Africans did in their tradition when they went to war. They painted their face with masks to look intimidating, and even football players do it. They put that right there so they can look aggressive and frighten their opponents and stuff like that. That's why I do it. And that gets the job done. And for all of those people out there that calls me ignorant, no, you're ignorant. Because you gotta be ignorant to keep coming back to a channel that you don't feel have no substance to it. And if you come here and you come for laughs, you will be punished. And when you find your finances locking up on you, and the folk around you that love you and you love them start to dying, it's because you mistreated me and my family and my kindreds and friends. Anyways, I just wanted to just put this out there to you all, and I'm going to be coming back to you with more witchcraft and hoodoo in y'all, because the spring coming, and when the spring come, it may already be here. I'm going out there on the deck, y'all, because we had a wonderful time last spring. I was out there today getting everything together. I got the cucumbers and the different varieties of lettuces: iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce, purple variety, green variety. I got the grapes in the ground. I got 2 things of grapes in the ground. I got the apple tree, the pear tree. Looks good. It's been out there 2 years. I got the peach tree out there. Mama just want to have different vegetables. The fig tree is smiling, saying, Mama, I got a treat for you this year. I hope to have fig preserve, peach preserve, apple pies. The blackberries are growing all over the fence. I hope to have blackberry pie. That's some of the best. If y'all get your hand on some blackberries, I'm kind of nervous because it's a new man that moved next door. When the house was vacant, blackberries were all a field of blackberries, and I was just loading up. We had blackberry pie just about every week. But he's there now, and it looks like he's cut most of the blackberry down, but some is on my side of the fence. I hope to harvest some of that. What else I got in the ground? I don't have too much in the ground. I have it in the greenhouse because we might have a cold snap. We had a late cold snap last year, and my stuff didn't do so well, but I got something for you this time, okay? Yeah, you know who you are. And hope to have squash, hope to have melons, hope to have string beans, sweet peas. I'm hoping to put those sweet peas in my salads and stuff. I like raw vegetables and stuff, like the lettuce, then I'll have the sweet peas, all of it raw, Oh God, it tastes so good. Raw the cucumbers, I got them going and stuff like that. And I got the real onions growing from the ground, real chives. Got my zinnias growing, my African violets growing. I guess that's what they are. What else? I wanted to do a foxglove. I think I'll buy that already whole. Anyway, this part of the video is for all of those people who love to check out the garden and stuff like that. I know it's a lot of green witches out there that garden and stuff like that, and these hoodoo practitioners that prefer, just genuine roots. Mama got the datura growing. She got to grow that. And all of my different roots that I work with growing out there. Every hoodoo witch need plenty of peppers. I got different peppers out there for y'all. Them peppers get the job done. You dry them peppers, man, you can run a motherfucker out of a place. I had this lady, I ain't heard from her. You might be watching me, girl. You owe me. You still owe me, girl, because you almost killed me. And you know who you are. You know who you are. But anyway, I know you watching. You need to get at me, girl. Get at me before I get at you. Okay? I don't want to send them out there to you. Y'all know they be trying to send birds at mama. I done had a bird attack, y'all. I had a bird attack. Y'all can't do what I do. Don't be trying that. But I know who sent it though. My ex. See, don't let folks hear your recipes. People who get access to your personal items like your panties and clothes, shoes, and shit like that. You don't supposed to let them know what you doing because they'll do it to you. That bird came and attacked me in the night. I was going up in my house. Okay? And by the time I whooped him real good, I ain't seen him no more. It was so crazy because he came on my porch 7 nights straight. And each one of them nights, somebody died. Somebody died. Makes me kind of nervous. Y'all know what I'm saying? My auntie got her little analogy as to what's going on. She said, well, each one of them people that died that night must have had something to do with sending that bird there, or they was bothering you or something like that. So guess what? The deaf bird had to come in and attack you for every one of them that died. I don't know. I don't know enough about this. Y'all don't look to me thinking I know everything about it, because I do not. Okay? I'm still a pretty young witch. I'm still pretty young hoodoo woman, because I was told by some old ladies through my aunt that I was still too young to be doing this. They said the average age of a hoodoo practitioner is in her late 50s to early 60s. But I'm like, what they trying to do? Wait till I'm too either dead or too old to move around and do something? No. Now, 60 is that's still a real good age to be able to do things and get things done and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's still a good age. 60, 70, they say. I don't know, 70, that's when you get into that death stuff, man. Them folks in their 70s, man, they can take you on out of here. You be gone, bye-bye. Just like this lady wanted me to heal this young man in his 70s. You never supposed to heal nobody older than you. You can die. The people you heal should be younger than you. Like you could try to come upon, like you 20, try to heal a baby. You could probably heal a teenager. You know what I'm saying? But you a 20-year-old don't need to be trying to heal nobody in their 50s, 40s, 60s. You'll take yourself out of here. Like my auntie, she said, yeah, she been sick for the last 2 weeks. Ooh, I need some of that oil. I ain't giving her no more of my oil. Because see, they using your resources, your physical resources, and that stuff can kill you. She can't get no more of my oil. When I gave her my oils, I gave it to her to work, work money. Sister girl was working her hell, and me and her both be getting sick together. And mama like, I can't do that. So I was talking to her last night, and I was talking about the yard and garden. She said, you talking garden, but I'm working on life. She said, I need you to get me some roots and oil here so that I can get myself up on my feet and get well. I'm sorry, Auntie, I cannot do that. The last time I tried to heal somebody in their 70s, I almost died. So, and still ain't recovered. That stuff still on me, been on me 4 months. Can't do it. Seeing things and hallucinating and death knocking on the door. I can't do that. Mm-mm. Y'all ever heard death knocking on the door? Y'all, it's a lot I gotta talk to y'all about because a lot of y'all approaching my age when you get to be in your 40s, it's a whole nother ball game. Once you approach 45 and get across that, it's a whole nother ball. It's a whole nother world. I'm not speaking for every person in their late 40s. Only kindreds in their late 40s. Only the ones who psychic, intuitive, hoodoo witches, and people who are like myself. Okay? I'm not talking about just no any old person. See, different witches go through different things, you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about kindreds right now. See what I'm saying? Different priests, priestesses go through different things. We're not all alike, but there are some people who are almost like a copy of me. And I just want to give them a heads up as to what's going to happen before it happens. That plane just flew across my head and I feel a drastic temperature drop. No, it's not the wind that it pulls through here. It's liquid nitrogen. That's what it is. But y'all, let me tell you something. Kind of give y'all an example. Woo! They spraying their little humicides. Um, I can see things. I can see. I can't describe how to say it, but it's like a layer. It's a layer of worlds. Okay? So I can pretty much see some things around me, but it's real faint light before it happens. Give you an example. I was outside potting my pots with dirt and putting the loose soil in the bag. And I could already see the roots of a plant that's supposed to grow. The root was already there. I could see it faintly and touch it and feel it. Feel the root of the plant already there. Now that's about the only way I can describe it. Okay? So in other words, I could see a faint image of something to be that has not been yet. Now, if y'all got a name for what that is, y'all please let me know, because I've realized if you don't have keywords, you cannot find information on the subject matter. And Mama don't have the patience to sit down and try to, write any books on any of this. Maybe try to paint it or something like that. But I can see at times a faint whirl, a very faint, translucent whirl around me at times. Like I can be sitting here on this couch and you see it's a wall, but I may see a doorway into a whole nother realm, different place is what I'm seeing. I have a picture that I took when I was in New Orleans. Ooh, my phone gave me the dickens. I had to get a new phone, uploading that because I want to share it with you all. You can actually see, is it an orb that's shooting across the side of my head? That thing played with me for about a month. I was just seeing it dance around. It was like a little, they said, no, that mama, that's a demon. It just played around here for alone. It's just doing things, just dancing. And when I took a picture of it, I could actually see it. My aunt said they danced. But she went through my hair and she had to take, did y'all used to see me when I had these on? Here's one. This is the only one I wear towards the back of my head. When they were here on the side of my face. Now we're talking hoodoo stuff now. So for all of y'all naysayers who insist on staying here, even though you know that you feel like I'm retarded and, degenerate and all of these different things. I just can't understand how you could think so little of a person, think that they're ignorant and all of these things, but then just continue to sit down and watch. I really don't understand it. But who's me? Maybe they come here for a good laugh, but it's something about me you love her. Because there's a whole lot of people on YouTube doing things that will make you laugh. What's special about me? I just saw an image here. Just saw it right there. Y'all, it's a lot I need to talk to you all about, but I'm just going to introduce a little bit of it so you can be thinking about it. So when the spirit moves me, when I do the video and stuff like that, and y'all can watch it and stuff like that. But just finishing up on all of that, let me just go to something else. That little thing that taps on my glass all the time, and then all of my people that I work with, they say that it taps on their glass too. I've actually seen it. It's something to that Pac-Man game. Y'all watch out when y'all watching all of these PC games, all your PC games and all of your console games, like your Xboxes. Y'all, it's something to the games. It's something to those movies too. Pac-Man is very interesting to me because that little thing, I've seen I always say that the leprechauns are with me. The leprechauns are always with me. And a lot of the times it's the fairies and the leprechauns that are tapping on the glass a lot of the times. And right there where they tap, let me know when they go out and do work and come back. They always come here. I have like on the side right here on the outside of this glass out here. Y'all seen the little slide window when I do the videos. There's actually a leprechaun garden out there and a fairy garden out there. So I have a little place for them to live. But anyway, one of them that I saw looked just like those things that run on Pac-Man. They're shaped like this here. And they got just the eyes showing. Okay? And that's exactly what that thing looks like. But, I like to try to sit down and dissect these PC games because I know that they have a supernatural hidden meaning to them. When you see the little thing doing this and gobbling, those little things up that I see all the time, I always see them. They stand about 2 feet tall and they're translucent when they show themselves. And you can see red eyes. It'd be like a white glow with red eyes and stuff. They just hooded and covered up all over. Kind of look like that thing on that comes on the Addams Family that's covered up like that. That's what they look like. Y'all, it's something to them things. It's a reason why when y'all watch these movies and watch these games, it's a reason why they do these things, y'all. They're not just doing it for the fun of it. These are some situations that these people have been in and they've made games out of. Okay, now, so anyway, I'm going to come back and talk about taps on glass, y'all. Okay, I'll be back in a little bit.